Coach Brett Kelley talking about the class of 2017 recruiting class that the Cougars hauled in, a class of 10 signees. Coach, how do you feel about the 2017 class?
Man, I'll tell you what, our coaching staff did a great job this summer getting out on the road and seeing these guys play, and even into last year, watching what they could do. We got a lot of great cooperation from the high school coaches around here. We feel we've got a really good class coming in. We're very athletic. Our kids can play multi-positions, so many of these guys are utility players. They have a really good position. They can play shortstop, second base, third base, catch, but they can also do a lot of other things. They also can pitch, so we've got some really good arms. We've got some really good athleticism. We feel that we got some really good hitters. We feel that we got the best players in the area coming in for us for this next year. And with our freshman class this season, we think we should be pretty tough in 2017, 2018.
Well, Coach, we start alphabetically here with the class of 2017. We'll start with Blake Begner, the 1A All-Stater from Peoria Heights High School, as a left-handed pitcher. What do you think of Blake?
Well, I'll tell you what, we really like what Blake brings to the table here. We saw him when he was a seventh grader. He came to one of our pitching academies, and we really like what he could do then. He wasn't a real big kid, but he had a real live arm. His secondary pitches worked pretty well. He was real smooth, real clean. We knew he was going to get bigger and stronger. And as he's kind of progressed, we've really followed him all the way through. As you can see in the video, he's got a really live arm. He's got a good fastball with good movement. He's got good secondary stuff. He's got a really sharp breaking ball. We think he can be a high-end guy here. We really see him getting bigger and stronger and developing. The other thing with Blake, he's a three-sport athlete, and we really like that. We like the athleticism that he brings to the mound. We like his competitiveness. We like his composure out there. But as you can see from the video, he's got some really good stuff, and we're going to be excited to be working with him.
All right, Coach, next up, Adam Christensen. Adam, one of those kind of multi-positional guys, very versatile, but looks like he'll profile best as a catcher. Adam out of Morton High School, your alma mater.
That's right. We like those Morton kids. So Adam was kind of a no-brainer for us. I saw him a couple of times in the summer. He's got really good actions as a middle infielder. He swings the bat really well. Comes from a good program. But we really think that his best position is going to be behind the plate as a catcher. He's got a good quick release. He's got really quick feet, good athletic build. So he's a catch-throw guy, but he also swings it pretty well, and he's a left-handed hitter. So we really like that about him. We know that he can also pitch if that were something that we needed him to do. But we think that by him focusing as a catcher, he's really going to be able to make some big gains and move on to a high level after.
And next, Coach, we'll stay on those mean streets of Morton, as you like to call them, for another outfielder by the name of Trevor Davis. Talk a little bit about Trevor and what he brings.
Trevor's really found his niche in baseball. We feel that he's a very good athlete. Out of all the guys that we recruited this year, I felt that he was the most D1 ready player. Brings a lot of athleticism, a lot of speed, left-handed hitter, got some good power, also throws the ball very well. He can throw off the mound, he's really good. He's got a really strong arm from the outfield. He can go and get the ball. We see him as being a guy that can come in and be an impact guy right away, get a lot of at-bats and play right off the bat as a freshman. And
next up, Coach, we go back to a place that we've had a lot of luck with in Henry Senachwine High School, home of former Cougars Danny Russell and Jason Condit. Both of them were number one starters for us.
Well, I told Carson Hardy that he's got some big shoes to fill with those guys, because when we go to Henry, we go and get some good ones. And I think Carson's going to be able to fill into that mold. He's a guy that's got a repeatable delivery. He's got pretty good life on his fastball. He's got a really nice breaking ball that's sharp. He does remind me a little bit of Danny Russell, who had a great career here at ICC and then over at Western Illinois. Just the way he goes about his business. He attacks the strike zone. He goes right after hitters. He doesn't back down from anybody. I think he's going to be a guy that's really going to get a lot of innings for us and do a really good job.
And next up, Coach, we go back to my home turf, a Dunlap, where looks like we poached a pretty projectable eagle, long and lanky Ben Hopkins, an infielder.
I'll tell you what, he really burst on the scene last year. I know he played with your outlaw team, your 16U outlaw team. The kid's got a lot of size. He's going to put on a lot of meat. He's got a lot of athleticisms. He's got really good actions in the infield. I really like his arm and the way it plays. He can really move his feet and make some plays. So he's going to be a really good guy for us. We project him as, adding probably about 30 or 40 pounds of muscle, maybe playing third base, but he could also play a pretty good shortstop in a pinch if we needed to. But just all of his actions look good. His arm's strong. We think he's going to be a heck of a player for us.
Next up, Coach, we move on to a young man that hails from a town where we've had a lot of success, but he's not a Washington native. He's a Jayhawk by birth, but it ended up in Washington. And talking about Colton Hutt, a right-handed pitcher.
Well, we really like Colton. I know Kyle Wisher over at Washington was excited to get him back, and hopefully he'll be healthy this season. I know he had a couple nagging injuries that limited him a little bit last year, but we really like what he could do in the summer. He's got a really sharp breaking ball. His arm's got a little bit of life to it, and we think that that's really going to jump up once he gets fully healed. Athletic body. Again, it's a kid that can play multiple positions anywhere on the field. We think that he best shows as a pitcher at this level, but we're really excited to get to be able to work with him starting in August and add some weight to him and really refine his mechanics. He's got some really good actions and really good stuff on the mound, so we're hoping we can take that just a little bit farther for him.
All right, Coach, we move on to a Cougar legacy. Young man by the name of Lucas Ketchum. Luke's older brother Jake played here for us back in 2012, 2013. And for a little bit of fun, just to emphasize how much we love three-sport athletes, we've thrown in some football highlights here.
This is great. I saw where he had a real good basketball tournament over the holidays, too. But can't say enough good things about Jake, who played for us, and I think Luke's going to be the same way. As you can see here on the video, he's a very physical guy as a football player playing tight end, defensive end. You see a sack right there. You see him come in here and really stuff a play on the run. Anybody that can do multi-sports we really like. His athleticism is going to help us a ton. The fact that he's about 6'6" and 230, he's really very projectable as a pitcher. We think that once he just starts focusing on baseball, sky's the limit for him. I really see him having a huge jump in velocity. Again, as a big kid, repeatable delivery, which you don't see a lot of that. But he's going to be talented, and we're going to make sure that we work hard with him and get him as far as he would like to go. But we're excited to have we're definitely excited to have Lucas coming in, and it's a solid program that Coach Walters has over there at Canton. So we're excited to have a couple other guys.
And like you said, we'll stay right in Canton and look at another little giant, Drake Strode, a center fielder and right-handed pitcher.
Well, we knew Drake had some really good numbers as a junior. We kind of followed him a little bit in the summer, and he did very well. He threw well. We heard a lot of good things about him. Made some phone calls over there and found out a little bit more on him. But he's a guy that really would fit into our program. He's a kid that is really going to refine his skill set once he gets going. We really see him projecting well on the mound. He's a kid that has pretty good velo. He's got a really quick arm. He's got a good breaking ball. He's got good secondary stuff with repeatable delivery. So we think that Drake's going to be a pretty good one for us too.
Next up, Coach, we stay right here in East Peoria for a young man by the name of Braden Weber, a right-handed pitcher who's been a mainstay on Matt Plummer's staff for about the last 2 years.
Well, Coach Plummer's going to send us another good one. We like Braden. We saw him in the summer. Again, he threw the ball very well. We know East Peoria struggled a little bit record-wise, but Braden had a pretty good year, had pretty good numbers. Again, it's a big, strong kid, has a pretty repeatable delivery, has a quick arm, good secondary stuff. That's something we look for. I think he's going to be a guy that can pound the zone and really throw a lot of strikes for us and let the defense work behind him. But as you can see a little bit on this video, he's got a very good breaking ball. He's got pretty good action on his fastball. It's a lot of downhill movement. So it's just one of those things. We're really looking forward to working with him and cleaning up a couple of things with him.
And last but certainly not least, Coach, we look at a young man, Braden Willoughby, who started out here in Washington, but we had to follow down to the Decatur area after his dad got transferred with Caterpillar. Braden, an infielder and right-handed pitcher, had a lot of success down there at Maroa Forsyth last year.
Yeah, we really like what Braden can do. He's a multi-position guy. He can play infield. He can play outfield. He also pitches. He's got a pretty good arm. We like what he can do throwing the ball. He played really solid shortstop, but then when he would move around and play other positions, he did really well there. Probably gonna be projected as a utility guy for us, and I'm sure he'll probably get some innings on the mound too. But Braden, strong kid, has pretty decent speed. Got good bat speed. His arm works pretty quick. I know talking with Kyle Wisher, he told me he wished he had about 12 of Braden Willoughby because he said it'd be a lot easier to coach and win with that team. And